Hey, welcome to Six Bears 3D Printing. This is Papa Bear, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the Jeep project we've been talking about. Also, I want to go over some fun settings in Prusa Slicer. I'm still new, so I'm not great at narrating some of this stuff. We'll kind of bumble and stumble through this stuff. Like I say in every video, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but we're working on teaching this old bear a few new tricks, and maybe along the way I could show you a few as well. I've got the Jeep right here, and what we've been working on is trying to get some doors on this thing. Funny enough, the doors on it have actually been one of the most difficult parts. Because of the frame of the Jeep, it's got that odd angle, the cut to the bottom of the door. And Jeep doors are removable. So I've been trying to find a way to incorporate that feature into this model. It's a custom model, not one that I bought a blueprint for or the one out of a store or anything of that nature. So when I'm done, you'll be able to take the doors off, the rag top off, have an off-road appearance at the same time. So here's our progress so far. Now this is completely 3D printed right here in the shop, designed by me, sitting right here. As you can see, the wires are not permanently fixed yet. What I'm going to do is get the shrink wrap. You take your heat gun, you shrink it over the wires, and then I'm going to print a little black channel that's going to be mounted under here and completely hide the wires. Now the wires are here because the Jeep has working headlights and taillights. Now, they're run by waterproof LEDs, front and back. Now, what I did was I hid them under the panel with a flat engine panel that was removable. You'll see this is a 4 AAA. You got 4 AAAs in here with a switch. It's real simple. Now for this project, I did not use an Arduino Nano, which I normally use some form of Arduino. This did not require it because it's a simple circuit, a simple on-off circuit using a couple of resistors. When you do this kind, each light needs its own resistor. Now for this, I used 220 kilo ohm resistors. Simple, very basic. Well, to me, I thought it was very basic. Simple soldering setup. As you can see, very bright, very comfortable. You just flip them off and you're done. Now, I was considering adding a remote to this, but it is going to be on a shelf. The person that I'm making it for won't light it up very often, so I didn't want to mess with the remote. It's more than the Jeep really needed it. I didn't want to overkill. Let's talk a little bit about the materials. I'm using black PLA Pro from Elegoo. Phenomenal material. Probably one of the cleanest printing materials I've used of all the materials I've done over the years. But if any of you have been around like Jeeps, trucks, anything like that, they have those hood vents. Like for instance on a black one. It's a shiny black metal. They've got that black like plastic material on the vents. So I'm trying to duplicate that different material. So what I did, you'll notice this is black PLA Pro. The different texture here, that you can try to angle it, so there you go, you can see the shine is different. Because I've now discovered recently, carbon fiber has gone down to an affordable material to use. It used to be very expensive. The only trick is to be sure that you buy hardened steel nozzles and make sure your machine has steel gears in the head, not plastic. The plastic gears will get chewed up by the carbon fiber. But it makes for a phenomenal printing material. Another good example is the body is in PLA Pro. The fenders are in carbon fiber. Now I didn't put out, let me see if I can get a little bit more light here and you can see, yeah. This is more of a matte finish, while the body hits the light right, and it has a better shine. But now, I put in, so far I've built a soft top. You set this down, that's right. The soft top, each piece of the Jeep has been designed one at a time to be sure as I assemble that it fits. Soft top is printed in carbon fiber to give it kind of that fabric-y appearance. We're using clear polystyrene sheets cut to size. Now, if you've not used these are a thick plastic. You pull this off and they are perfectly clear. Now, if you're trying to do a project where you need, say, windows in a car or an airplane, or you're doing an electronic that needs the appearance of having a screen, these are your godsend right here. Let me tell you, these will do some phenomenal projects. I do Star Trek tricorders, and the screens on them, right here, I'm telling you, and they're not expensive. You got a nice size pack from Amazon, and you can do tons of work with these things. Now, they're not the type that shrink around with a heat gun. They won't do that. If you hit them with a heat gun, they'll just kind of bend up. They won't conform to a shape. Don't try that. They're not that type of sheet. Now, the other thing that I've recently added to this thing, I've decided that we needed details. So I went in and I added a full dash, as you can see the profile of it there. There are full dash controls. You've got the environmental controls, screens. Underneath, I was trying to get an angle there. You can't really see. Oh, you can kind of see right there. Yep, the gas pedals and everything have been added in there. So going for not complete realism, just that little extra detail that's going to give it that little punch, a nice little punch. Now the next thing I think we're going to do, this is going to be fun. We're going to open the cart. We saved this right here. This little space was saved just for, well, because. I think we're going to add a little surprise back there, right here. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm going to wait till I add it, and then I'm going to show you guys and see what you think. I think it's going to be really nice. Now we're running these tires. Now let's talk about these tires for a minute. These tires are modeled off a real Jeep. I took tons of pictures of his rims. Let me take a real good look at that. Take a look at, can you really see that rim? The tires, the treads. All of these were really modeled off of a real Jeep. The axles spin and everything. But they're made of TPU rubber. Now, what it is, it gives it the feeling of a real tire. Okay, it's not an RC vehicle, but just the feeling, the sensation of you pick it up and you feel that it's real rubber. It feels like a real tire. It's that one little more step detail, that one little more edge that makes it feel like it's, a nice thing to put on your shelf. I think when I'm done, the person that this is going to thoroughly enjoy having this as a collectible. It will be a one of a kind. I've not built another one. This will be the only one that I've ever designed and built. So we'll see. Now, I am considering putting a license plate on it. I don't know yet. We'll see. We might have to see what you guys think. Maybe send me some messages and see what we think we could put on here for the license plate. Just, something fun. But we have to work on a winch cable. Just the hook. We're going to get we've got the tow bars in here. The winch is in here. Let me see if you can see that. We've got the rollers in there. Now we're going to add in the cable coming out and hanging on to here, Also, I've got some clear resin coming in. We're going to print out the headlights. You can see the bulbs, but we're going to print the headlights in so that we have that realistic look, like a cat's eye headlight to it. So once we're done, we're going to have realistic. We're going to have realistic headlights. Those nice realistic tires, the TPU tires. We've gone for the more realistic dash, the profile, with actual, you can see like environmental controls. The bucket seats. You've got the shifters inside. I think we've hit it almost. The only thing I didn't really detail was under here, and that's because when I put the wires in and the casing for the wires, I think it would interfere with a more detailed suspension underneath. I didn't want to get in there and it's like build full detailed suspension. Then I have to tear half of it out for a wiring harness. I thought that would be kind of redundant, but you know, I'm tempted, but I figured I better not. We'll just stick with what we got down there. But now, let's talk about those doors we're talking about here. Now, I got a new set printing. Let me put the top on for you. Okay. This is what the doors are going to look like. We're going for the half door, like you see on some Jeeps, where it doesn't have a frame on top. It just rolls the window up. Okay. Oh, and check out the mirrors. I got nice mirrors on there. These doors are almost, I ended up just a little too small. So, you know, they're just not quite right. I'll give you a peek. Now we're going to, I didn't put the magnets in these, but they're going to be magnets in the side of the dash and a tiny magnet right on the side of the truck. So the door will just sit there. You can see right there, it's a little bit ill-fitting. See it ill-fitting on the edges right there? Just a little off. I'm going to see if I can try to get a little better fitting right there on that door. Yes, I'm a perfectionist. I think it'll be a little better. But not, I mean, that's not bad, but I think I can do better, you know? So we're going to see. Now, when the new one's done, we're going to go through them, and we're going to sit here and we're going to round off the edges, because it's going to come out with sharp edges. I'll show you guys in a minute. They won't take long. You can see them. They're back there printing right behind me. They're going to come out with sharp edges. Now, I left them sharp so that I can kind of round the edges gently like I would with, you know, a custom fit part. Take them and you round the edges gently. Sometimes when you're doing custom pieces, it's a better idea to leave it with a sharp edge and you can fit it to the space you're applying it to, like that door frame. Because you can't always get it off the slicer with the perfect edge. And here's what I'm talking about. I'm going to bring up, let me move my part of my tray out of the way here. Let me bring up the slicer, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with these door frames. This is what I was talking about, the slicer edges. Okay, let me share this screen with you for a moment. Okay, these are the door frames as they're sitting in Prusa Slicer. As we're looking at them, you can see that pointed edge right here. I created these pointed edges, so that's where I can round it to create that custom look, that custom fit right into the backside of that door frame. Because that Jeep has like a 47-degree angle frame. It's not that quite 45 that we would like to see, but we'll get it. Now, yes, here I've attached them, it's called a merge, to be one part. Now, why would I do two doors as one part? Here's why. Let's say I needed to cut these doors a little bit. We take this, all we're going to do is, if we merge them, we can cut both doors with the same edge at the same time. See, the blue part is what we're going to dispose of. We can uncheck it here, tell it to keep the pink, and when we cut it, boom. We've cut that angle steeper. We've eliminated the blue piece, but we did it on the two doors at the same time to the perfect match. We've guaranteed we've cut the exact same amount off. Because if you don't do it, you will sit here and fiddle with it all day thinking, why can't I get these to be exactly the same? Easy. That's how we do it, guys. It's simple. Prusa Slicer gives you the tools to do everything you could possibly need in slicing. Now, one thing that I found, oops, look at me sliding it all the way over there. There's my Jeep frame, my Jeep bodies right there. It's also helpful to take the doors and fit them into the body. Look at that. Bada bing. That's what I'm talking about. Look. Now see, here's where we're talking about that sharp edge on the frame. You can see where the sharp edge causes a problem. That's actually no problem. That's where we're rounding it with a little file, making that custom fit flawless. It'll come out flawless. All it is patience, guys. Patience, patience, patience. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So you'll notice here with Prusa Slicer, look, each one of these represents a different print platform. Now, I have 11 printers. I can only run 9 print platforms, but that's okay. These are all actually running on one printer. I click each one, and each printer plate is saving the settings needed for the stuff that is on that plate. You can't beat, for instance, look, there's Prusa Slicer. This one right here is running the TPU. Different speeds, different settings. You don't have to keep fiddling at all. You can set it all up ahead of time and just click each plate, pick your printer, hit the word print. Boom, 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 boom. Simple, simple, simple. Let me tell you guys, as I told my kids, I learned it in the Navy. KISS every project. KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. And I tell myself that every minute of every day. Work harder, not smarter. Not true. Work smarter, not harder. That's what you do. Okay? Use your tools. Prusa Slicer has the most comprehensive tutorials on YouTube that you will ever find. I started with zero knowledge. I tried out a bunch of slicers. This one taught me everything I know. You do custom supports. Oh, we'll do a whole hour on that one, let me tell you. Not right now, but I'm going to tell you. Custom supports, that will make your prints so beautiful. I'll demonstrate with my dragons. The most difficult thing you will ever find is these dragons. But when you paint your own supports, set millimeter by millimeter, you have a total control over your project. Oh, I can't say enough. I can't say enough. But now let me switch you to another screen here, or actually I'll just bring it over onto this screen. Here you are this is another project. This one is a gun holster. Now on this one, I'm printing in carbon fiber. Folks, carbon fiber has become so easy to print with. I do professional gun holsters now. Look at that. These green supports that you're seeing, I hope that's what you're seeing. These are for your organic support systems. Okay, can't beat it. We'll go over that stuff too. But Prusa Slicer is a free open software that you can get. Just all you got to do, go to your search bar, type in Prusa Slicer. If you're having trouble with your slicing, you can't get it straight, it won't support it properly, you're getting too many supports, too much scarring on your projects, go to Prusa. I'm telling you, the man is a genius. I can't thank him enough for his open software. I know, right? You're probably going, God, I wish this guy would stop talking about the software. I can't say enough. It's phenomenal. Everything you see was made with it. I make wings of fire dragons. No, I can't sell my designs for that because these are the only one that makes them. But imagine trying to give supports for that. Yes, this is the nightmare. Lots of curves, random overhangs you can't anticipate. This will take care of you every time. Prusa Slicer can slice this like nobody's business. But now, right now, we're enjoying the new material, by the way. If you've not experienced it, try out carbon fiber. Look at this. Look at that shine. It's so clean. The least amount of post-processing I have ever seen. This is right off the printer. No sanding. All I did was snap off my supports, ready to go. And this stuff paints like nobody's business. It is so smooth. You know, if you have ever tried to paint and all you saw was layer lines on your 3D printing, it's so tough to get past, right? I tried painting some of this. Oh man, the layer lines are almost invisible before I even ever had to touch it. can't beat it. Cannot beat it. Now, I wish, I have to share this with you. One of those little, you know how hindsight is 2020, folks, let me tell you. So I built a very complicated, very, very large Optimus Prime on a bet from a follower. Here, you'll see him sitting over there on the shelf, right there. Yep, he's just chilling. Well, I've decided to build his evil twin, Nemesis Prime. They both stand 2.5 feet tall, close to 300 parts, fully posable and transformable. Check him out. Now, this is done in black PLA Pro. No sanding, no paint. It's prints so clean. If I had known I was going to get into carbon fiber, I would have waited. Right? That would have been a great surface for him. Because this is printed in the 5% aluminum infill filament that you can buy. So he could have been carbon fiber and aluminum. Wouldn't that have been a phenomenal print? Still, not bad. I could take it. But I have to have the evil twin. You know, we got to play like a Freaky Friday situation here. But yes, he will still transform just like the other one. Both of them fully transform into semis. But I've put him on hold for a little bit while I fill some orders. We have had a lot of orders for the new holsters I've created. I do not know how many of you carry holsters, but one of the most pain in the butt things about holsters is when you sit down. One thing that happens to a lot of folks, their holster sits down and it pushes up on the belt. Slides right off, lands next to them. Kind of embarrassing. Or they sit down, and if they are carrying a concealed pistol, it falls out of the holster. Well, that's pretty embarrassing. That ends the whole concealed process. But it's also a matter to me of safety. You don't want your pistol falling out. That could cause it to fire, and that would be a problem. You also have an expensive piece of hardware you don't want it damaged. So I designed a type of holster that I am now putting to market. It has a very strong clip to the belt that allows it to slide up when you sit down. It'll go from here to here. Now, of course, if you have a very long pistol, I can't help you with that. But your average pistol will sit in here comfortably. This is carbon fiber. It protects the finish of the pistol because they are completely lined with felt. Hand cut protective felt to protect your finish. Now the important thing is, when it goes in, oh, you know what? My pistol's outside and I can't show you, but it's okay. It goes in and it locks the pistol by the trigger guard. You can put it in here and shake it all day long. Don't drop it like I just did. But when you can shake it like that and the pistol does not fall out. That's what I'm talking about safety. That keeps your firearm from falling out, damaging the firearm, potentially going off. It's an expensive piece of hardware. We don't want to damage it. But if you're walking, it's held by the trigger guard. No one could come up behind you and pull it on you in a crowd. Nobody can take your pistol. If they do that, they're going to have to break the lock before they can get it out of the drawer. Now, and I hope it never happens, if you were to have to draw your pistol, when you draw it like this. Your finger comes out on the trigger, not the trigger guard. The trigger, not the trigger, but the trigger guard. So your finger does not come out on the trigger. Another safety feature. I think that's very, very important. We think about this. Those of us who like to carry, we carry for protection. We have safety first in mind. So I designed this holster with all of this in mind. We're going to see. I hope everybody likes it. We're going to find out. But I'm trying to prove the validity of 3D printing. Something that we can do like this. Maybe we can prove that 3D printing, hey, we're the wave of the future, guys. Whether you're new to this hobby or you're trying to make a business, I'm telling you, you can go from the little trinkets. They're fun. Think beyond the trinkets. I don't make trinkets. I tell everybody that Six Bears 3D Printing, we're not your mom and pop 3D shop. We do other things. You can do it too. The trinkets are fun. Think about it. Think of some fun stuff, like around the house. What are things that you use that you've never considered? Here's a good one. I needed funnels for my resin printers because like a blonde or a dummy, I threw mine away. I went, wait, I need to go to the store for funnels. Wait a minute. And I printed a set of funnels. So now, guess what? I sell funnels. You got it, folks. You can't beat it. Something silly like that. I sell heavy duty, FDA approved, BPA free, food grade funnels. It was just something I thought of. It's not a trinket. Something people could need. You can do it too. Find something like that. It's fun. Your 3D printers are for more than little trinket dragons, I promise you. Now, if you have one of the smaller 3D printers and you wonder, how do you make these big projects? That's easy. We're going to go over that in one of my segments. How to cut your projects, how to reassemble them, the better ways to make them like hold together, to hide the seams, for stronger connections. Because let me tell you, now I know you see those, like the giant 3D printers I have here, but I still make things that even that can't make, that's too small for. So yeah, we're going to talk about that on a segment. How to join your seams. Let me tell you, I had to spend a lot of hours in a lot of failed projects learning how to do that. Oh man, my trash pile has to be the strangest thing in the world. I'm glad I don't have a trash guy. He would go out there and find everything from aliens to starships to tools, predators, you name it. Everything in the world that you could think of, I've thrown at least one away. It's not pretty. One of these days, I'll learn how to grind my stuff up. You know, get one of those, recycle the 3D print back into filament. But I just don't have that kind of money quite yet. But if any of you have one of those machines, let me know. I want to know how efficient they really are. Are they worth the investment? I'd like to find out. Drop me a line. I see them. I know people have them. I just don't know if they're worth the investment. I'd like to find out, because if they are, I think I'd work my way into one. I think so. But yeah, I want to share with you a resin print that I've been working on. This is cast in Elegoo white. Worked on printing these in one piece. Now you can print these in multi-pieces if you have one of the smaller resin. But this is printed in one straight piece. As you can see, it's very, very delicate with this. This was printed on a 12K resolution Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra in smoky white. That's that dark gray printer right there, kind of hiding behind that alien right there. It's got paper towel sitting on it right now. But I've got a Saturn 2 and a Saturn 4 and a little bitty longer 10. Now that's the first printer I ever made one of these on. But I had to make him in pieces, and I had the joy of my life when I got to make it in high definition in one piece. But this is the kind of detail you can't pull on a regular printer, but you can do it in resin. Look at that. So if you're considering resin, let me tell you that. Let me talk for a minute on resin printers. I advise getting one, but be careful. They can be messy and temperamental. Always take your steps, take your precautions. Wear your gloves, for instance. Now, I always print in water washable resin. The mythos is that water washable has less detail than standard resin. Well, myth buster here, because look at that. I'm here to tell you water washable resin is the easiest way to go. because you can wash it in pure water. You don't need rubbing alcohol or anything like that. I have tanks over here. Giant tank. I could not imagine having that in water washable alcohol. Had that in alcohol, I'd be in trouble. I can't be around it. So these are phenomenal. But now the funny part is those big printers can actually print things that are too big for those tanks, even though they sell those tanks. So I created a huge, oops, almost made a mistake. I created a very large UV chamber just so I could get some of these really, really giant prints in there. You can see it there. You can do that with an old cabinet if you have one. All you need is a cabinet you can seal, aluminum foil for the walls. You can buy the UV, like a spotlight that you can mount in there. You can get a UV turntable, no batteries, no wires. The UV light provides the energy and it'll slowly turn your item so that way that your project gets all the equal UV rays all the way around. Now I put 3 lamps because it's a big, big chamber. It's phenomenal because if you're going to do larger projects, the little chamber, that little yellow one right here, is not going to cut it on a lot of things. Well, like this dragon. He's too long. He doesn't fit. But he fits in the printer. So, if, you know, a little ingenuity, necessity breeds invention half the time. Just think about it. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. There's always a way. Always. And think outside the box a little bit with your printing, guys. It'll make your day, okay? Well, look, I think that's enough for the day. If I have any more random thoughts, I'll shoot it your way. I'll keep you updated on the Jeep. Them doors are printed. Yeah, well, you know what? Let me see how long them doors have. If those doors get done, maybe we can look at them. Hold on a minute. Let's take a look. How close are we? Oh, yeah. Yep, we're going to save those doors for the next one because we're looking at 36 minutes before the doors get finished printing. I had hoped they'd be done a little sooner. Didn't quite work out. But that's okay. We have something to talk about next time. We'll sit down together and we'll put the doors on this thing and we might just call it finished. You never know. It's almost there. So y'all take it easy. And I think that'll do. Again, if you have any thoughts, questions, any ideas, you need some help, drop me a line. You can look me up on Facebook. You can message me directly. Shoot, you can look on my Facebook. 6pairs3dprinting.com is my website. You can call me direct if you have anything. Make sure, I think they say like and subscribe. I'm not sure. I'm still new to this stuff. But hey, I think they always tell me it's down below, but I can't see it from here. So give the old bear a like and subscribe if you can. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day, guys. And sooner or later, I'll figure out how to do this without looking like a clown.